had it on me and I was ready to experiment. This is me telling my perspective on MDMA and also kind of what happened during the festival at Halloween. I wanted to share with you all how I understand MDMA now after this experience, and maybe it will help some of you not abuse it. I was telling a lot of people at the festival about this, and some of the people I told, they said that it really helped them understand and help them maybe not go too hard on that substance. I recently came back from Halloween and had a lot of fun. I have COVID now, but I'm recovering. I wanted to document a lot of things while they're still fresh on my mind. I had the chance to experiment with different substances, as I do at festivals, responsibly, as safely as possible. I did end up partaking in MDMA. I was very hesitant to because of the come down, but there was a point during one of the nights where, I had it on me and I was ready to experiment. I was feeling curious and thought, you know what, I'm going to experiment a little bit with this tonight. But I didn't do a lot. All I had was one tiny rock of it. I didn't have a whole bunch or a whole capsule or whatever. All I had was one tiny rock. That's it. And I'm really glad that I did not have more than that, because that was enough for me, and I didn't want to redose or anything. And honestly, I didn't want to have any more the whole weekend, because I got what I needed out of that one rock. I experimented with it, I felt it, I benefited from it, and I'm able to move on from that. From consuming that in combination with LSD, those two substances really helped me open my mind and understand things a lot more clearly. I was processing in my mind and understanding all the substances that we use and their purpose. And I came to the conclusion that MDMA is really like a candy that is bad for us. We know we shouldn't have, but is really good every once in a while. That's MDMA. It is a chemical that we've created that helps remind us that we are love. Because that is what we are. We are love. Although we forget that we're in love, and we forget that we are love in our daily life. And this chemical that helps release a lot of our serotonin reminds us that we're in love. And there's nothing wrong with that, although we can benefit from it, in fact. However, since it's chemical, it's not good for us to do it regularly or a lot of it. And we don't need a lot of it to remind ourselves. When we tune in to what's going on in our bodies and don't seek extreme getting fucked up situations, we don't need a lot of any substance for that matter in order to experience the benefits of it. This is why I always go really light on all the party favors, but especially MDMA, because it depletes our serotonin and it can make you feel like crap if you do too much of it and don't take all your vitamins, stuff like that. In the rave community, it's really common for people to consume a lot of MDMA, and I honestly don't know how people do that, because it just totally drains you out. Personally, from my experience, I cannot do back-to-back MDMA. It just doesn't work for me. It doesn't have any effect, and then I'm draining out my brain chemicals. I found this was really interesting. I thought to myself, am I going to do MDMA again ever? And yeah, I will, now that I understand. And also, somebody at the festival helped me understand too. He said it only depletes you if you have a lot all the time. If you have only a little bit, or a little bit here and there, that's okay, like during the festival weekend, but people are so used to having these high amounts or getting these pressed pills that have a lot amount, or you don't even know how much is in the pressed pill, which is what's dangerous of that pressed pill. You don't know what else is in there either. In moderation, it is another substance that is fun to experiment with. Although I definitely do notice that it is a chemical, because my jaw starts to do weird stuff. I'm sure other people can agree. It just feels different in the body, definitely. My body tends to do very well with psychedelics. My chemistry works very well with psychedelics, so I really like having those. And there's no calm down. All the drugs I do like to think of as spices in our party kitchen, and we just need a little bit, don't really need, but to add a little bit of spice to the party, all you need is a very little bit. You don't need to go throw in a bunch of spices. So some people out there, a lot of people out there, are using the party favors as condiments, or even like snacks, more like condiments, I'd say. You don't need to go heavy, but people tend to overdo it. I mean, it could happen to the best of us, but I prefer to err on the side of caution. And I really value being balanced in my day-to-day life. I don't want to set myself back too hard from anything. And that's why I like to go very light. I did not sleep the night that I had MDMA and acid. My mind went to really, really amazing places. I did a lot of inner work, which was really valuable to me. I understood my place in the world and in my family, and in new lights that will help me going forward. It was a beautiful experience. I had to give my body time to rest. Just want to remind everybody how important it is to listen to your body, and I'm so glad that I'm getting better and better about doing that all the time. So I think it was on Saturday night, a few hours after I had taken that one rock of MDMA. I'd been partying all weekend. I hadn't slept very much, and suddenly I just felt kind of nauseous, but I didn't feel like eating. But when you have consumed too many different substances, you just kind of feel icky and less like tired and ick. That's how I was feeling, and so I just knew I needed to lay down. So I found a nice relaxing place to lay down for a while, and I did that. And I laid down till the very end of the festival that night. Actually, I was one of the last people to leave. They had to close it down, and I went to another place where I could relax for a little bit. But even though I couldn't sleep, I knew that I had to just relax and lay down, because partying any further would not help me at that point. I knew I would do a disservice to my body if I were going to consume more substances at that point, because I was starting to feel a little bit nauseous, and like my body didn't want any more weird stuff in it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure other people, you can relate to that, those of you guys who like to party out there. And I was just really proud of myself for not crossing the line right then, because I might have jeopardized myself or set myself back for the next day. So even though I was totally wired and could not sleep, all I knew I needed to do was to lay down. And I played some nice calming meditation music on my phone, which I conveniently downloaded before going to the camp, because I thought maybe it would come in handy, and it sure did. And I just let my mind wander and tried to figure out some deep intergenerational trauma stuff in my family and in the world, and I made a lot of progress. I was trying so hard to figure it all out, but then I remembered we can't have all the answers in one night. We gotta be patient and take our time, and one thing at a time. But yeah, anyway, that's how my new take on MDMA. What do you guys think about it? Can you relate? You think it's totally far off? I'd love to know. And check out my other videos. Maybe you will subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you subscribe. Share it with your friends, family, if you think they'd be interested. And thank you so much for spending time out of your day to watch this. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Bye. And don't forget, we are love. We just forget sometimes. So full, and I don't even know how I'm gonna go home with such a full heart, but all I can do is spread the love with others.
MDMA, Charlie inside.
Family here at Camping Seats. Be comfortable. Family, keep the vibes going. Yes.